talk about Indian classical music is a big responsibility. I'm still trying to understand what it is. I've been playing for more than 60 years. It's like an ocean. But I'll share a few random thoughts with you. To begin with, let's assume for a while that there was no music in the world of any kind. What would have happened? No music of any genre. Can you fathom that situation? I think would have gone insane. Music is the greatest gift God has given to humankind. Still, there is a lot of insanity in the world, but I think music is a saving grace. If we still try to understand and use music in our lives, in whichever way. And Darbar Festival is one effort in that direction. Well, what I have tried to understand throughout these years, in India, music and spirituality, right from the very beginning, ancient times, I would say were the two sides of the same coin. They could not be separated. The sages, the saints, gods, goddesses. India is the only country when you see Lord Shiva, you see him with Damru, the originator of rhythm, dance, language, and everything. You see Saraswati with Veena. You cannot imagine Lord Krishna without Venu, Bansuri or flute. So what is this? Connection, you call it faith, you call it spirituality. That connect had been there right from the beginning. And I still feel as a musician, the soul of our music is into spirituality. Times changed, and with the change of time, with the changes in the society, socio-economic changes, art forms also change. And there came a time when this spiritually oriented music came in the darbars. Today's darbar is different. That was with the emperors. And musicians were in a competition to prove their superiority and please the masters. So another element came into our music, I would say, and that had two different sides. The positive side was musicians were not worried about their bread and butter. They did their riyas, practice, and taught second generation musicians. That is how gharanas were formed. And the other factor was, in that music, which started as spiritual music, an element of entertainment and one-upmanship came. That emperor would reward the musician who he would consider is the better one or the best. And many a times, the kings and nawabs were not so knowledgeable about the music. But then, after independence, the Maharajas, Nawabs were gone, and music came in the public. And another factor, another dimension was added to that music. So these are few changes which occurred in our music, but I personally feel the soul of our music is in going inward. It takes you inward. And a musician, if tries to present his or her music with that thing in mind and connect the listeners towards that point where they also feel that bliss. I have been trying and struggling to do that all my life. Now, these days, there is a lot of worry about environment. We are destroyed the environment and we are facing the consequences. In ancient India, we were so close to the environment, to nature, and preserved it, worshipped it. In India, the first worship was the rising sun, towards the rising sun. To experience that beauty, what happens in the sky before sun rises, and which raga goes according to that atmosphere. Ancient Indians had realized that and used it through music. Because this human body is made out of 5 elements, which we have forgotten. That's a different subject, but because it is connected with the spirituality, I'll just say a few words about that. The search of a spiritual seeker was, who am I? Am I this body? If you tread that path, you will understand you are not this body. And music used to help in that. Coming back to environment, they were connected with the environment. Music was performed according to the changes in nature. The changes in nature also affect our body and mind. And that is why we had this time theory. Ragas were performed according to the cycle of sunrise to sunset and sunset to sunrise. And there were times, not quite lately, but when we used to have all-night concerts in the open in India. Unfortunately, there was some Supreme Court ruling. Some people didn't like the sound of our music, and they stopped after 10 p.m. And it was very severe punishment. Even the artist could be arrested if they went beyond 10 o'clock. And now our concerts start at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and finish by 10, if it is outdoor. In the auditorium, again, there are certain rules. So this music is still thriving. People ask this question, what is happening to Indian classical music? One beauty about Indian culture and Indian people is, in spite of so many different influences coming to our country, we, took those influences and merged them into our identity and created something different, better. And were not swayed by that. Still that is happening in India. And that is a very positive sign. And now you see, I was talking about the spiritual connection with music, even in Sikh religion. It's a very rare example, the Shabad Kirtan. It is, written which Shabad will be sung in which rag and which tal. That's the connection, which should not be lost to our generation. So this is a very rare art form. And another thing about our music is that there is a system of rag and tal, which is so scientific, so well researched, and so vast. It has got its own structure, own grammar, own system. I will not go into that, what is rag and what is tal. Time is too short. But what I want to say is, within that structure, there is unlimited possibility for a musician to create something different. learning from a guru, there are different stages of learning music. First of all is to learn from your guru. Second is to listen to different styles of music, different gurus, and try to understand what I have learned, what they are doing, and compare it. If one has got the ability to do something and add something to that, there is full freedom to do that. And that is what is happening. Young musicians are trying out. They are open to new ideas. So, this is a very deep subject, as I said in the beginning, but I'm so happy to be here this evening, and wonderful experience how these musical instruments have been brought for India and preserved here. This is something great which has been done about it. And now I'm waiting to listen to this sitar bean by one of the greatest masters of Rudra Veena in our country. Thank you very much.